All right. Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to the Peachtree Boulevard Water Transmission Main Replacement Project virtual meeting update. Because I think we've had some meetings before, so we're going to give you an update on where we stand now and how we're going to progress going forward at this point. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. If you have any questions, you'll be able to put them in the chat box, and at the end of the presentation, then we will fill your questions with that. Next slide, please. I don't think they listen. There we go. Oh, so here's our agenda for the night. We're going to have presentations from several subject matter experts to tell you a little bit about the ongoing work, what we've accomplished this far, and our plans on moving forward. So with that, next slide, please. I'm going to extend some greetings. First, I'll tell you about myself a little. I'm Mr. Kerry Williams. I am Deputy Director for DeKalb County Watershed, and I have several subject matter experts in divisions that's under me, and there you'll hear from them shortly. Next slide, please. And I'd like to extend a greetings to Commissioners Robert Patrick and Ted Terry, who's commissioning District 1 and 6, which this project resides. I'm not sure if we have anybody from these camps here. If we do, please identify, and I can stop for a minute and let you actually say a word or two if you are here from that camp. Do we have anybody here from either of these camps, Commissioner Patrick or Commissioner Terry? All right, so we don't. I don't think we have one, so we'll keep this ball rolling. Next slide, please. I am going to do a little slight overview of what DeKalb County Watershed does on a day-to-day operations and some of the why of how we're doing this project. I'm not going to go in detail because Miss Marshall will handle that part. So what we do on a day-to-day, simple as this. We treat wastewater from your house and we send clean drinking water to your house. How do we do it? We do this through a network of pipes, roughly about 5,000 miles of pipe in the ground, DeKalb County. That's a combination of water pipes that clean us in drinking water and wastewater pipes. These are pipes that are out of sight, out of mind. You don't see them, but they age just like you see a road get potholes. These pipes deteriorate just the same. And it's usually when you start experiencing problems with your resident, it's probably too late that service life is up on that pipe, which is pretty much the issue with this pipe. We supply drinking water, roughly 70 million gallons per day to the residents of DeKalb County via the Scott Candler Water Treatment Plant located in the very northern part of DeKalb County. And that's not even in DeKalb County, to tell you the truth, where the plant is, but the pump station now. We have two wastewater treatment plants, both located in the southern part of the county, the Pole Bridge plant and the Snapfinger plant. The people roughly from about Memorial Drive southward and a little bit further, their waste is treated via the Pole Bridge or the Snapfinger wastewater plants, while those to the north are treated via the city of Atlanta, RM Clayton, and a small portion by Fulton County. We do this with a team of experts daily. It's a 24/7 operation, rain, sleet, snow, bad weather that we have. We still have to be there. So next slide, please. So why are we doing this? We didn't just wake up and decide, oh, gee, we want to replace. We're doing it because this water main has had several breaks in close vicinity to each other, and we noticed the deterioration in the pipe. So why are we doing it? We want to reduce the number of breaks and improve customer service. We want to minimize the disruptions to the residents. So hopefully we get this fixed. Hopefully we all be retired or whatever before we ever have to mess with this thing again. It's 30-inch transmission main, so it's going to be inconvenient while it's there, but it's finished, it should be a much better improvement in the area. Next slide, please. How are we doing this? We have a team of experts. You have contractors, we have consultants, all which work together with DWM to help put these projects in place. Here we have AECOM, who's the engineering consultant that helps us, along with Ruby Collins, who's the primary contractor out on site that's doing the majority of this construction. Next slide, please. So at this time, I'm going to let you hear about the problem and the solution. And to tell you more about that, it was Ms. Cassandra Marshall, who's the Assistant Director for the Watershed CIP program. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Ms. Marshall and let her tell you more about the problem and the solution. Ms. Marshall, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. Again, my name is Miss Cassandra Marshall. I'm the Assistant Director for Watershed Management over the Capital Improvement Program. My duties include overseeing the $4.27 billion capital improvement plan, and I also manage the construction management staff and oversee the construction activities. Next slide. So this particular main, the section we're replace is one of four major transmission mains within the county that feeds the entire county. It provides water to Emory University and the Center for Disease Control. We've had a confirmed 45 water main breaks from 1989 to 2024. The primary problem is just due to age infrastructure and corrosion, just due to the pipe being located near an existing gas main. So for the future pipe, the new pipe we're installing, we're putting a protective wrap around it that should protect against future corrosion. Next slide. Our solution. So in 2024, the Board of Commissioners approved a new capital plan for $4.27 billion. That is for projects to be completed from 2025 to 2034. This particular project, Peachtree Boulevard Water Main Project, is a $46 million project that is within that plan. My team, the capital team, is responsible for getting the work done. My team includes 4 DWM construction managers and 12 licensed inspectors. Also, along with the in-house staff, we're also supported by engineering firm. Currently for this job, it's a firm called CGA, a joint venture between CERM, Gresham, and Atkins. Next up in the presentation, you will hear from the construction project manager, Mr. Bobby Kilpatrick. Bobby has over 20 years of construction experience, and he will speak about the project scope.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall, for that introduction. As Ms. Marshall stated, I am Bobby Kilpatrick. I will be the construction manager on this project. And at this time, I will go over the project scope and plan work. Next slide, please. So we will be installing nearly 1,400 linear feet of new 12-inch and 9,200 feet of linear feet of 36-inch DIP water main, including service lines, hydrants, valves, pavement restoration, and water meter boxes to grade. The trench will be milled and resurfaced once the new water main installation is complete, and the existing 8-inch water main will be abandoned in place and filled with non-shrink grout. The site conditions will not be altered from the existing. All disturbed pavement and landscaping will be replaced in kind. Erosion control BMPs will be installed throughout the entire water main alignment, and no more than 1,000 linear feet of trench will be open a day, and at the end of the day, we'll be backfilling. Next slide, please. So about 1,000 residents and businesses will be impacted by this project. Now, the roads that will be affected will be Peachtree Boulevard, Miller Drive, Pierce Drive, Shamley Dunwoody Drive, American Way, and Broad Street. Next slide, please. So now you will hear from our inspection supervisor, Mr. Mark Nooks.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Nooks, and I'm the inspection supervisor assigned to the Peachtree Boulevard Phase 2 project. I will provide you some information on the construction overview, the methods of construction, and the project duration. It is our goal as the team and I to work closely with the general contractor, Ruby Collins, and the community to ensure a quick and effective completion. The team and I are the first line of contact for the project. From the first day of commencement, we will be on site to ensure that all the erosion and sedimentation controls are in place. We want to go ahead and ensure that the contractor is installing the water main to our specs, and make sure that we get it tested. We are there for the community, so if there are any customer complaints, feel free to contact Outreach, or if you see um, any DeKalb County inspectors, such as myself and my team with the blue hats on, feel free to pull us over to the side and ask questions, and we will get answers to you and we will resolve your problems. We're also there to maintain traffic control. As we all know, Peachtree Boulevard is a very busy street. We've got a lot of work to do, major work, and we'll be having flaggers out there if we're in the streets at that time to direct traffic, or when we're on the sidewalk on the green space, we will make sure to ensure that we have signs and signage out there to explain where you need to walk, and we'll have barriers delineating our construction zone. Our number one thing is safety, and not only for the workers, but also for the community at large. Next slide, please. So the methods of construction. On this project, we'll be actually using two different methods. The first method is considered the open cut method. And what that is, it's a widely used technique for installing water mains. It involves excavating a trench along a desired path, placing that new pipe in the trench, and then backfilling and restoring the surface. This method provides direct access to the pipe, making it ideal for straightforward installations and repairs. While effective and relatively simple, it can be disruptive. It is most commonly used in areas where the surface disruption is acceptable or where trenchless methods are not feasible. Now, there are areas of this project that we cannot do an open cut because that would create, as we said earlier, disruptions. So the second form or second method of construction is considered the jack and bore technique. What this technique is we dig a pit down in the ground, and it involves mechanically pushing a casing pipe horizontally through the ground while excavating soil from inside the casing as it advances. Once that casing is installed and pushed to the other side of the street, we at that point insert the water main and place it inside. What that does, it doesn't disturb the top portion of the asphalt. It doesn't create any disruptions in traffic. Next slide, please. So the duration of this phase two activity is as follows. Community service meeting. Notices were put out on January 22nd. We are currently having our community meeting January 29th. Mobilization would start on January 26th. As you can see, we had put down some BMPs and erosion barriers up. Construction will start full speed ahead next week. And the final restoration for the paving will start sometime around October 2027. And the end of construction will, depending on weather and site conditions, will be December 2027. And again, let me reiterate that it just depends on the weather and site conditions to these dates that we've given you. Next slide, please. So overall, the construction team will ensure that the project is completed and the property is installed. The picture to your left depicts a typical construction site or work zone. And the picture to your right shows the roadway and how it will be restored in kind or better. We see that at the top picture on the right, it's a half of the street that is being paved. And just depending on the age of the pavement, we might just do a trench style paving. But looking at this project, I think that due to GDOT permits and GDOT requirements, we would have to do half of um, the roadway itself. Now, that is it for my presentation. I will now turn it back over to Ms. Cassandra Marshall, who will discuss the community awareness.
All right, thank you, Mark. I will now discuss community awareness and what you should expect. Next slide. So what to expect? Of course, there are going to be construction deliveries, foot traffic, vehicle traffic, heavy construction equipment will be in a particular work area. We will have that just kind of within our work zones. Safety and security, there will be increased noise, of course, from the backup alarms on the equipment, asphalt saw cutting, and also the removal of that. Sometimes you have to hammer on the asphalt in order to make it break loose to haul it off from the site. Another security measure we make sure we have is the county contractors and employees have some type of identification badge issued by the county that represents that, hey, there are a DeKalb County approved contractor or an employee. Our work hours for this portion of the project will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. However, the contractor will probably stage himself a little earlier. That is just when we would do our lane closures on Peachtree Boulevard. The contractor will provide coordination throughout on the specific side streets that are affected by the construction. Owners will have access to their driveways with the exception of temporary blockage to allow for pipe installation. If you only have one way in and one way out, we typically try to check in with you the morning before we block the driveway to see if you need access out. We will work out those type of arrangements if you do need to get out in the middle of the day. Water shutoffs, we usually give a 72-hour prior notifications. Those are typically for planned outages. There are times when the pipe does break, the existing pipe, while we're installing our new pipe, due to the infrastructure just being aged. And when that happens, there is no notifications. We're just doing the repair and going into repair mode. Environmental protection, of course, we want to minimize dust controls and dirt on the street. And we want to keep silt out of the waters of the states by installing a silt barrier on the concrete inlets. Next slide. Another awareness we do is we try to notify people who are not working in the area by putting up large construction signs. These signs, I believe, were placed sometimes last summer. We've put up signs located at Johnson Ferry Road, Malone Drive, Shamley Dunwoody, and Parsons Drive. On the bottom right-hand side is just a general logo that we require our contractors that are working on the site that don't have marked vehicles to have on the side of their vehicles so you know they are working for the county. Next slide. Again, the contractor will provide traffic control, guiding the residents and traffic throughout the work zone by means of flaggers or traffic control devices. The jack and board crew will be the first crew to start back up. They are planning to start next week, Monday, working at Peachtree Boulevard and Malone Drive, headed toward I-285. Once that jack and bore has been completed, a pipe crew will start immediately after, somewhere around March 16th of this year. Also, the contractor has a laydown area identified, which is an empty parking lot next to the Shamley Senior Residence at Malone Drive and Peachtree Road. Planned outages, we do, again, try to give you the 72-hour notices. And when that disruption does occur, it's typically like a 30 minutes outage. And that's usually for when we're doing our service line transfer from the new line and installing the new line to your meter. Next slide. Next, you will hear from Ms. Angelita Streeter about public communications update.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angelita Streeter, and I am the Public Outreach Specialist for this project. Tonight, I'll share with you the methods DWM will use to communicate with you. But before I do that, I want to briefly recap what has occurred so far within our community. Our outreach team has engaged with residents in high-impact areas. Our construction and engineering team has also worked with residents to obtain right of entry access to their properties as well. Next slide, please. Leading up to tonight's meeting, you may have received an email or notification letter describing the details of the project and informing you of tonight's meeting. Going forward, 48 to 72 hours before the beginning of construction, each homeowner or business will receive a door hanger like the one shown here, which will tell you the hours of work and what to expect during construction. We will also use email to communicate with you. If you have not done so already, please take a moment to provide your email address in the chat so that we can capture that information for future use. Next slide, please. These are the touch points that we will use to communicate. First, we have the project hotline, which includes a 1-800 number and email address. We also have a dedicated web page for the project, which will have tonight's presentation posted there, as well as other project information. We will use our Twitter and Facebook social media platforms to share updates on the project. We will also use news releases and the county's weekly newsletter entitled The Relay to share information as needed. Other ways we will connect with you include DCTV, which is DeKalb County Television, the Nextdoor platform, project signs, our contractors, and frequently asked questions, which will be posted to the website. Next slide, please. The following QR codes lead you to several ways to get information on this project. They include Nextdoor, Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, YouTube, and the CIP projects page. Next slide, please. Listed here, you will find key contact information for the project. Most important is our dedicated project hotline and email address. Also listed here are the contact names of the engineering and construction team for the project. And finally, we have listed our 24-hour dispatch number if an emergency arises outside of normal business hours. And with that, this concludes our presentation. We thank you for your time this evening, and we will now move on to the question and answer period of the presentation. If anyone has questions, please place them in the chat. Okay, we have lots of emails. Thank you. This presentation, the first question is, can you share this presentation with the emails on the thread? Yes, you will receive an email tomorrow, probably by noon, which will have not only this presentation, but also more information that will lead you to the page where updates get placed. so that, or any door hangers that are put out, any letters, news releases, you'll receive information on that. So look for those around noon. Let's see, any other questions? Okay. I believe that is the only question.
They want to see the contact numbers slide again.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, this question is, will you have a plan for which construction method will be used at different addresses, locations?
We do. We have plans. Is there a particular area you want to know about? I think for the most part, it is open cut installation. Some of the side streets that they're coming into Peachtree Boulevard, those are probably jack and bores. I know we cross across Peachtree Boulevard also.
Yeah.
That is a jack and bore.
Thank you for your question, Hannah. Are there any other questions? The 24-hour hotline, can you go to, oh, that's dispatch. That would be the one at the bottom that says 770-270-6243. And that's for emergency situations. For non-emergency messages, you would call the 1-800 number and leave a message or send an email to project info. Those emails are, the phone number and the email are manned Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Last call for questions. We have a question from Daniel. As you work north, will you be opening up the lanes for traffic?
Yes.
You're welcome, Daniel. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, oh, we have one. Okay, it's a partial question. The street area where Publix is, are you shutting that down?
I'm gonna defer to the contractor. I actually believe we're on the opposite side of the street right there.
We will. Good evening, everybody. This is Adam Scoggins with Ruby Collins. To answer that question at the Publix, we will have to temporarily close the, I call it the main entrance, right there um, near the Dunkin' Donuts. That one will have to be closed as we do that small sanitary sewer relocation. Other than that, there will be no disruptions of the parking lot or the entrance to the Publix shopping center.
So that includes Smoothie King and paint and where the paint store is. Are they in the same shopping center?
No, the Smoothie King and Sherwin-Williams are in different locations. Those
Okay.
entrances will be affected temporarily. I spoke to some folks at those places yesterday and let them know that those entrances will be temporarily closed, but we will accommodate customers while we're doing so. We'll have to address it as we get to that area. That's something we can coordinate with the property owner, which we'll have to do at each location separately. But we'll coordinate with you on that, whether it's a temporary access or if the property has multiple entrances in the ingress and egress, then we'll use one or the other.
How far ahead are we looking at being by the Smoothie King?
It's several months. It's probably going to be
Yeah. So
it's
you'll
going to
have
be
someone speak
summertime.
with you in ahead of time, so you'll know. You'll have a discussion with the contractor.
Yes, we'll coordinate with every property owner that's affected individually as we get closer.
Maybe the owner of King can, if he can put his contact information in the chat, and maybe Adam, you can reach out to him. There it is.
Mr. Farmer? Okay, thank you, Mr. Farmer. Are there any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, this concludes our presentation. We thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. Stay safe and stay warm.